Good morning. May I have your full attention? Yes, thank you very much. Some reflection on love and Jesus. Jesus came to earth to ignite the living fire of the love within each of us by showing us our true divine potential. Love is our identity. It's who we really are. And love is inseparable from us. A question you might ask yourself: how do I know I'm being love? I'm expressing love. And from the book, Love Without End, Jesus says that we know how anchored we are in our beingness of love. Joy is the soul's pleasure of incarnate presence of love. We like to say it is the soul's pleasure in the presence of love. So we start off today by letting love be, joy follow. Welcome our beloved Tim as he sings "A Child is Born."
Now, out of the night, soft as the dawn, into the light, this child, innocent child, soft as a fawn, this child is born, one small child, one pair of eyes, one work of art, here in my arms, here he lies, trusting and warm, blessed this morn, a child is born. One pair of eyes, one work of art, here in my arms, here he lies, trusting and warm, blessed this morn, a child is Please stand and join us in singing Hark the Herald. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the mercy mild, God and sinners reconcile. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Christ the highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord. Late in time, behold him come, offspring of the favored one. Veiled in flesh, the Godhead see, hail the incarnate deity, pleased with man as man to dwell. Jesus our Emmanuel. Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace, hail the Son of Righteousness, light and life to all he brings, praised with healing in his wings. Mild he lays his glory by, born that we no more may die, born to raise each child of earth, born to give them second birth. Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Please remain standing and join us in the welcome song. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name. Your name. Please turn and greet the beautiful spirits of Christ and the people all around you. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, very far, over land and sea, a little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, one magic day, he passed my way, while we spoke of many things, fools and kings. This he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and to be loved in return. Then one day, that magic day, he passed my way, and while we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and to be loved in return.
We feel it, we feel it, we feel it. Just like last night. What an amazing concert. Let's hear it again for Tim, Jay, the choir. Oh my God, that was beautiful. And thank you for just bringing your talent to the world. I want to welcome everybody once again officially to our 11 o'clock service. So happy to see you here and be connecting at the heart level with each one of you. And so I'm sure those that connect every week, or if this might be your first time, thank you for co-creating this space either here physically or from the distance. Have some announcements for today. We'd like to remind everybody that today we got Dr. Marsha Walter. She's like every month, she's doing a workshop at 1:30 on intuitive healing. Then, of course, we have a lot of remaining Christmas events, and this upcoming Tuesday, the 24th, we have our traditional candlelight service for Christmas Eve. Will be at 5:30 here in the sanctuary, and then the next afternoon, Christmas Day, the church opens to those of you who might not have a specific place to go. We have a big community of people that come together either for Thanksgiving or Christmas and share the joy. You necessarily just need to bring a dish and bring yourself. So that will be on the 25th at 2. Let's see. Okay, I know they're gonna do it during the kids' announcement, but I wanna remind everybody that our kids will be going on to retreat and that they have a fundraise after this service. And if you haven't finished doing your Christmas shopping, I remind everybody we have an amazing bookstore. You can get great books there to give away this Christmas. And then the last big event of the year, we're gonna have a New Year's Eve celebration. Essentially, the church is providing the space, fellowship hall, and music. And you're welcome to bring an appetizer, a dessert, your own wine, soda, whatever you would like to drink, and just be ready to share and to dance and to sing. We have the Rising Sounds Entertainment. Those were the ones who provided music for the Woodstock event, and they're providing the music event. The church, it will start at 8:30, so it gives you a chance to maybe have dinner with your family and then come over and make it an all-nighter. Can I, Reverend Neusom? He says yes. Okay. So I'm done with announcements. I would like to then have you join me right now in a prayer as we prepare to have our prayer chaplains and our Advent candle be lit. So let us pray. Let's all take a moment to settle in by breathing in and out. By making a conscious choice to be centered in the love that we are. And letting the joy be. Prayer is a beautiful activity that offers us the opportunity to love ourselves, to love God, nature, all that is, and to experience the love of others. We use this sacred moment to amplify that love. And let the joy be. We realize the importance of this time, of taking time to love by prayer. To receive the love of the divine that always is. We choose to pray like Jesus used to pray. He would lose himself in the love of God. So we do, losing ourselves in that magnificent, powerful, unconditional love. And as we receive it, as we are touched by it, we become an extension of that love and really, really experience a happy, Merry Christmas. We are so full and so blessed. Oh, and to be loved. And for that, we say thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Tyrell. This is my lovely wife, Loree, our two boys, Gabriel and Alexander, and our shy daughter, Madeline. And this week we call forth the spiritual attribute of love. The heart of Jesus' ministry was love. Love of God, love of one another, and love of self. Jesus was born of love, he taught love, and he exuded love. We should love our enemies as well as our friends. And Jesus knew that unconditional love changes lives and changes the world.
Love is always calling us higher. It beckons us to expand our compassion and understanding and to treat others as we would wish to be treated. When we live in love through our words and our actions, we are radiating the essence of the Christ light within us. We become the Christ in expression, beholding and honoring the divine in all people and all of life. When we find love, we experience God. And when we find God, we know a love greater than any other. Love is our natural state of being.
Whoever does not love does not know God, for God is love. 1 John chapter 4, verse 8.
If we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is perfected in us. 1 John chapter 4, verse 12.
Presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Let us pray. Together, we breathe in the love that God is and we are. We fully inhabit the sacred temple of the heart, and we rejoice in our oneness with divinity. We lift up every prayer request and every individual in need of prayer to the renewal and transformation of the one power and presence. We declare God's omnipotence in every circumstance and condition. We relax into the everlasting embrace of our adoring sacred source. We give thanks as we bask in the glow of our irreversible highest blessings, and all is well. Amen.
as we begin, let us settle in, let the body adjust, become comfortable. Let the breath be the focus of attention for a few moments. And with the breath, we'll extend it a little deeper, a little longer, both on the in-breath and the out-breath. We also give a focus of the breath to the center of the chest, so it feels as though we're breathing into and out of the center of the chest. Let that be activated in your breathing. With our hearts open, with our breath slow and focused in the center of the chest, let us contemplate those who have loved us, who have loved us into being who we are. Let us remember them.
this day our daily bread. You said you would supply all my needs according to your wishes. I have but to ask, and I shall receive. To go from here and share this love you gave to me, to show someone who's lost and help them find their way, the way to truth and faith, so they can be free like me, free like me. Lord, we are your love. Lord, we are your peace. Lord, we are your joy. This day.
You know, Anna has mentioned it, and I'm sure many of you have talked about it among yourselves, but it is amazing what the musical talent in this building was like last night. And for those of you who were not here, please don't miss another opportunity when we do it next year. It is fantastic, the music program here, and these two guys make it happen. So I just want to thank you. Today we're talking about love, and in preparation for this, I went to see Mr. Rogers. And it was kind of funny last night in the concert. Dan did Mr. Rogers for a moment there. It was just like perfect, with a little sweater, and he changed his shoes and everything. But today we're going to talk about love, and I was kind of struck by the movie, but also then I went online and listened to him on YouTube talking to different people, Charlie Rose, to the congressional inquiry about NPR and several other things. And I got this sense that he really didn't talk that slow all the time, which was kind of nice, but that his talking that slow was a way of caressing the kids by saying things slowly and peacefully. He set the conditions for their hearing that they might just actually feel into it, their own feelings. And as he was talking to someone else, he said, you know, it's really important that we have silence. The world has gotten so busy and so noisy, and we're so into information and everything, that there's always something coming at us, or we're always pulling at something to get more information. And what we're missing is the silence, because in the silence, that's when the real knowing happens. And we begin to have insight and realization. And so he spoke slowly enough that you could go through several realizations before he'd finish the sentence. And in the movie, when Tom Hanks is portraying him, when asked a question, there's a big pause before there's an answer. And potentially, he was going through several iterations before he opened his mouth. And I don't know about you, but there have been quite a few feelings hurt by me, and mine have been hurt by people answering quickly, or me answering quickly. Some comment. And just imagining that my offhand comment would be funny or interesting or sufficient, when it wasn't, you know, it just turned out to be not that. And people, I would hear later, people would feel like I had dissed them in some way. I would often be shocked by that. I've never learned from it. I still do it, but they would this cautious approach, I thought was so ingrained in him that he must triple think everything he said. When he was asked late in his career, maybe at the end of it, by Charlie Rose says, so what have you learned in the time? He says that anything that comes out of my mouth is okay. I'm just like a child. So I'm not sure what he was doing in that silence. But one thing that might have happened in the course of his lifetime was he got to be really good at seeing the good in people. He got really good in praise and nurturing the person in front of him to the point where he didn't really have to worry about it anymore. What would come out was himself. And he had honed himself to the point where he was trustworthy and like a child, with no malicious intent, would just say whatever he wanted. So it gives me something to point toward in my own personal life of how to develop the higher angels inside of me and let the lesser angels, while they never seem to die, they could take their back seat instead of the front seat. I was particularly aware of this recently, having just seen Mr. Rogers, maybe a day before anyway. I had this conversation. This conversation really gets under my skin. It's really just, I'm holding it together, but I'm mad. And I go to a deli to have breakfast. And I don't usually eat at this deli. I can't remember if I ever had before, but I go up to the 3 registers there, and I go up to one register to order, and no one's there on any of them, so I'm just waiting. And this guy walks over to the next one, and this woman walks up and takes his order right there in front of me. And I find myself just staring at this guy. So bad. And he's got a shaved head, a goatee, and tattoos. So maybe it wasn't a bright idea, because I was just staring at this guy like, he gave me that look like, yeah? And I almost gave him that look like, yeah. I did give him that look, but I said, nothing. I didn't make any sense to be so upset, but I was. And so it's going to happen no matter what your intentions are. It's going to happen. It comes down to this thing of intending and doing your best you can. So Mr. Rogers speaks very slowly, has a high intent to bring deeper understanding to kids. And so one of the things he's always doing is trying to tell every child there that they are loved, special, and important just the way they are, right? Something we've said many, many times here in this church as we bless the kids. You're loved, special, and important. And here's his little song he wrote for that. He was giving a commencement speech at Marquette University, and this is what he said. It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair. But it's you I like. The way you are right now. The way down deep inside you. Not the things that hide you, not your toys. They're just beside you. But it's you I like. Every part of you. Your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, it's you I like. It's you yourself. It's you. It's you I like. Don't we long to hear that? To let that just sink in and be our state of resonance, that we are loved just as we are. That there's nothing we have to go and become before we can be liked. And the likelihood of going and becoming something that we would want to be, either a better person or a more successful person or something, we're much more equipped to do that when we feel like someone has said these words to us, "It's you I like, just as you are." This is the gift. This is the gift of appreciation. That if we can appreciate the person in front of us, we set up the conditions for them becoming the very person they want to be. And by our negation of them, we also put a stumbling block in front of them. We make it more difficult. We put sand in their shoes. It's harder when people don't like you. And why is it we don't like people? It's because we have our little preferences. Have you noticed? I don't know if you're aware of your preferences. Most of us think that's just the way I am. I like this, I don't like that. But what are your preferences? But little binary bits of information that we have taken to be so important, right? You prefer someone to not cut in front of you. Well, okay, that's a big one. I grant it, that's huge. But most of them are small. Most of them are small. Just, the way you said something, the time you came to see me, whether you were early or late or whatever. We have these preferences and we make it so people are likable or unlikable, whether they fit into the box or not. But now if we were Mr. Rogers, everybody would be all right. They would be okay. It's the very thing we think of when we think of Jesus, is that he basically saying, "You're in my flock, just like you are." We don't do the altar call here very often, but if we did, we would do that song, "Just as I Am," right? That's the feeling. We're in all, failures and all the parts of us that are ugly, and all the parts of us who are edgy, and all the parts that most people don't like because it's not in their picture of how a nice person is. All those parts come with us. And while we may be trying to lean them out, they're still there. They're still in the past. There's stuff. And all we really long for is someone to say, "I love you just like you are." But since we don't trust it, we dance, we hide, we modify, we try to show up in the way they want them. And I guess that's part of the bargain in life, but it's also can be so that when we do hide too much, even when they say, "I like you," you have to doubt it somewhat, right? Because it's not really you, it was your best act at being who you think they should be. So but if you can get to where you're like a child again and just come as you are, hopefully in due time, we will find someone who can say, "I like you. It's you I like. Your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. It's you I like." This would be love. And we long for love, and we also withhold it. You've probably noticed this, that when you love someone else, it's not just they that get it. It is you. You get loved by you loving someone else. It's like you're spraying with a hose that is not very directional, and you get wet in the process. So as we love, we are loved by the very act of us loving. As you would do unto others, so it is done unto you. It's already happened. It's not like it's going to happen. As you give, you will be receiving, because it's a messy process, a very messy process. I'm going to read you a quote that may help us. Those of us who worry about being hurt by being loved, by loving, rather. This is from Erica Bacon. Everyone in life is going to hurt you. Good way to start a sentence, isn't it? Everyone in life is going to hurt you. You just have to figure out which people are worth the pain. Someone was asking me between services, what about toxic relationship question? It usually means they had somebody in mind, and I'm a little nervous to answer, really, because I don't really know the circumstances that they're talking about. But I did kind of come to this thought as we were talking, that essentially if the person is so toxic to you that you cannot love yourself, then you don't have to, but you might find it better not being there. It might be the case. So we must really learn to love ourselves. I think there's several steps to this loving yourself, one of which is that you're going to have to forgive yourself for the mistakes you make. You're not going to have to condone yourself and go right ahead and do it over and over, but you got to realize that you're going to have those days at the deli when you're not your best self. So you forgive yourself. First step, forgiveness. If you're having a hard time loving yourself. First step, forgiveness. Second step, acceptance. Come to a level of acceptance where you can accept yourself as you are. Maybe you're not in love with you, but at least you can tolerate yourself. It's nice because you're going to be with you most of the time. And so you learn acceptance, self-acceptance. And then the third thing is the payoff. You really start to love yourself. And then things really start to click. Because once you can really love this one that's you're living in as you, if you can love that one, then you have much more capacity to love someone else. But you also have more capacity to pursue your own life because now someone really loves you. So Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu says, being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, even if it's you. If you're deeply loved by yourself, you can be quite strong in yourself. Have courage. It says here, Lao Tzu continues, being deeply loved gives you strength, deeply gives you courage. Love, have courage to act according to what is yours to do. Things in life, it's to realize what, as Roger said, my purpose was to be kind to life. That life would have its painful times and to invite them to that was kind. And so if you can love yourself, you be yourself. Lucy, she said this, love yourself first, the line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. Love him. It's not a jerk. If you're actually loving yourself, you're probably a lot less centered than you were the day. Let that be part of your goals. Not only to love others, but to love yourself. Victor Hugo, the greatest happiness of life, love for ourselves, of ourselves. It's just me. One of the things I really liked about Mr. Rogers in the movie, in his commencement address, he said, I would like everyone to take a minute, just a minute, to remember those who loved you into being. To remember those who loved you into being. And so at this commencement address, he's talking to 1,000 people, I suppose, wearing funny hats and robes. And he asked them to stop for a minute and contemplate love, those who have loved him. Now, one of the things that happens, it was when that happened at that moment, collectively, the power of 1,000 people contemplating being loved, the room got really still, really still. So I went to Heart Math, an institution in Boulder, California, who studied the heart, literally the heart, and its influence on your mind and on your body. And one of the things they said was, to quickly come into coherence, which is a happy state for the heart, which means that the sine wave of your heart beats look regular. To come into that quickly, a method of doing it is to breathe into your heart with slow, deep breaths, and then to come into appreciation. Well, there's hardly any better thing than someone who's loved you into being who you are. Technique of taking 1 minute to contemplate those who, and to be in tune with your own physiology, heart center of your body's being right here, to breathe deeply, to be in touch with your heart, and to contemplate those who have loved you. All the things you need to bring your heart into coherence. And when the heart comes into coherence, then the mind becomes clear. And the mind becomes clear and it becomes less agitated. And it begins this virtuous cycle of love, having the heart be in the right place, the heart telling the mind all is well, the mind building a story around it to reinforce it, and all is well, and around it goes. Contemplate those who have loved you into being, taking deep breaths, feeling into your heart. This is magic. It changes the mood. It takes you out of fear. It takes you out of irritability. It brings you closer to your own self. And those particles of love that you are feeling begin to float through your nervous system, float through your blood vessels, nourish the whole body, change the mind. We don't have to go real fast, but we can do this in a minute. So let's practice. So here we go. Let your breath be the focus of your attention for a moment, and let your breath be about 5 seconds coming in and 5 seconds going out. Not a big strain, but a deeper breath. And contemplate the possibility or the feeling that is coming into and out of your chest at the heart level. Having touched in with your heart, now let us remember those who have loved us. We'll take just a few seconds or minutes to do this. Contemplate those who have loved you into being. It's you I like. Not the things you wear, not the way you do your hair, but it's you I like. The way you are right now, way down deep inside you, not the things that hide you, not your toys, they're just beside you, but it's you I like. Every part of you, your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like. It's you. It's you. It's you I like. So it is. At many weddings, a place when we contemplate making a powerful commitment to one person as an exemplar of all the ways we might be committed to life. These words are often read from the New Testament. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It records no wrongs. To yourself, to others. These are good words. Let us see if we can live them. There's a story Jesus tells in his many parables. This is a parable of the Samaritan. As you remember, the Samaritan was somebody the Jewish people's preferences were against. They did not like these people, even though they were actually kind of like half-brothers, somewhat different in their religious beliefs. And consequently, most Jews didn't like them. So one of them's on the road and gets attacked. The Samaritan comes across this man who's been attacked. Now, before that, a rabbi and a couple other nominally good people had passed right by him for fear of being attacked themselves. But this guy, the Samaritan, who's not considered a really good, holy type person because he's a Samaritan, he goes over and he takes care of the guy. And he attends to his wounds and then takes him to a hotel, pays for his room, says, I'll pay you. If there's more it costs to keep him here until he's well, then I'll come back next time, I'll pay you. And Jesus ends the parable with the awful question that always convicts me so terribly. He says, who do you think was this man's neighbor? It's obvious. It was a Samaritan and not the people that should have been considered his neighbor. We become neighbors by how we act to people. Do we treat them with kindness and love? Do we treat them as though they're one of us and not against our preferences? Do we control that which needs to be controlled in ourselves and express that which needs to be expressed in ourselves in such a way that it lifts them up? Do we act according to the highest? This is a neighbor. Now, Mr. Rogers made a big deal about being neighbors. Such a big deal that most of us, even in this room, know his theme song, which we're going to sing right now. So.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please, won't you be my neighbor?
Okay, I have a couple of announcements. We'll take up an offering, and then we'll have some more music. But I just want to say that first, that on Giving Tuesday, when many donations to nonprofits are matched, we gave a donation to the Food Bank of North Carolina. And as some of you know, we tithe on all the money that comes in as a tithe to us. So we give out 10%. Some of it goes to the Unity Movement and all its ways of supporting us and our children, et cetera. But we also give to local charities. That's why we gave to the Food Bank. We gave to the Food Bank. I got a letter back from them that said, thank you so much for your donation. Your gift made possible 6,000 meals. Well done. Y'all did really good. So, keep up the good work. There's one more thing. I just say, in 2 weeks we'll do the Burning Bowl. Those of you who've been looking forward to this, we're going to do it the last Sunday of the month, last Sunday of the year, last Sunday of the decade. If there's anything in that time period you'd like to get rid of, this is the time to do it. Now, we're going to take up an offering. So we do this every week. I know it comes as some surprise to everybody. Oh, I forgot my checkbook. Oh, well, you have 3 more weeks to get it done this year. So let's bless it together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Tim and Jay.
Starlight shines, the night is still, shepherds watching from a hill. I close my eyes to see the night when love was born. A perfect child gently waits, a mother bends to kiss God's face. I close my eyes to see the night when love was born. Angels fill the midnight sky when they sing, Hallelujah, He is Christ, our King. Prince of Peace. Love comes down for you and me. Heaven's gift, the holy spark, to light the way inside our hearts. Bethlehem, through your small door came the hope we've waited for. The world has changed forevermore when love was born. I close my eyes to see the night when love was born.
Hi, I'm Jay. I was a former YOUer. I'm part of the YOU alumni. We are currently doing a fundraiser for YOU to go to Spring Rally, and I would really like it if they could go, because Rally has helped me a lot, and experiencing so much love and fun, and has helped me figure out myself and what I want to do with my life, and so it would be great if they could have that experience as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to give the kids a blessing, but we don't need to put it up on this because I'm going to do one we've done for years before, which is you are loved, special, and important, just the way you are. So we'll say this together. Ready? You are loved, special, and important, just the way you are. Now let's join hands and sing the peace song. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a great week.